Hey yo, and morning, assuming, well, I guess afternoon in most time zones or evening. So, hi. Uh, t- t- Today we're doing a little bit of a different one. Stand by. Oh, one of these days I'm actually going to learn text. All right, so today we're going to do a little bit of a different one because we're getting into the new year. And for coaches, this is kind of a big time. Fitness searches, if you look up Google Trends, fitness searches jump on January 5th each year, which is interesting. Coaches kind of assume that people are looking into it January 1st, like that's the big time. We actually still have a little bit of time to get our stuff together if we're ready to make that commitment as coaches. Now, one thing that coaches are often kind of concerned about, they're worried about is like, oh, do I even want to push the new year time frame? Like, is this really a good time? After all, most New Year's resolutions don't work. Or at least that's what we've been told, and that's kind of the rumor. But I think it's funny because the evidence doesn't actually go with that. There's a study from 2002 at the University of Scranton, I believe Norcross et al., that took a group of over 100 goal seekers. Like they set a goal. The most common were weight loss, getting to the gym, or smoking cessation, or following a diet. And they measure them 6 months afterwards on their success. Did I or did I not hold to the goal? Did I hold to the practices that I set for myself? And the New Year's resolutioners, 46% were still at some level successful, whereas only 4% of the non-resolutioners holding the same goal, just 4 months different, so not at a special moment, were holding on to their goal. So the question was, why? Well, the biggest factors were self-efficacy. Did they think that they could do it? Their readiness to change and the skills that they had to change. And a lot of that was driven by being around January, being around the new year where there's a lot of infrastructure and a lot of self-belief that I can get this done. Also, the most successful 6 months after the new year had more cognitive behavioral practices than emotional awareness ones. So they were more focused on the strategies of the day-to-day than they were on the emotion of getting excited about it, or the awareness of like, what do I need to change? Which brings us to best practices for coaches going into the new year. First off, don't miss it. The new year is the most common time for people to get in. If you're thinking to yourself, like, I'm going to be special, I'm going to focus on an evergreen product, an evergreen fitness service, don't miss people when they're ready to jump on board the train. And that means being ready to take on clients. If you are in a boat, especially as an online coach, where your systems are in place and onboarding people takes so much effort that 5 new clients today, you couldn't take 5 new clients today without it being overwhelming, get on that. Find a way to fix that on-ramp gap immediately, or else you won't be able to take advantage of opportunities like this. The next thing is to put yourself out there when people are thinking about change. So I like what Coach Kate Solivieva talks about if you're going to be an online coach, be present as a coach in 1 or 2 different venues. If you're an in-person coach, be present as a coach 1 or 2 different places. Do you coach Boy Scout dads? Then be present at those venues. Are you an online coach working with a specific demographic? Be where they are. And now is going to be the time when you are more present in that space. Does that mean you have to be blasting yourself out? I'm coaching and looking to take on, I have 5 empty slots right now. Probably not. Like, that's better for your personal channel, your content channel, your distribution channel. But in those places where you're present, get out there. Be you. The next thing is to re-engage with current clients. Whether you encourage them or not, whether you tell them to set up New Year's resolutions or not, they probably do. They either have a New Year's resolution or at least an intention, another year around the sun. And I had these goals. Some of them happened. Some of them didn't happen. Now is the time, if you do coaching calls, schedule a start of the year coaching call to get their take on how their last year went, on things that they want to see, because now is when they're thinking about change. And the client who is thinking about change, who already has a coach, is a client by meeting that new change that you can keep for year after year. Another opportunity not a lot of coaches take advantage of is what our like communications expert wizard, Nikki talks about is old flames. So if you are a long-term coach, you've had a lot of clients who you separated on great terms with, it wasn't the right time for them, they moved, something like that, then this is the time you can either just check in with them, reach out, like, how's your life going? Find their most recent posts, if they're on social media, if that's how you're staying in touch, and engage with them. Or you can, if the relationship is correct, if that's appropriate, reach out to them and let them know, hey, I'm offering services. I know things were going really well. Now I'm online. And reach out to them then and see if there's an opportunity, because now is the time that they're going to be thinking about it. And don't put pressure on it, because if they're in a place, they will say yes. Like, boom, right there, easy day. The last thing I would focus on for the new year, like we saw in that study from Scranton, what is going to help make them successful? And there's two pieces to that. One, how can you improve their raw score, their ready, able, and willing score to do the thing? If you can get their raw score from like a 6 or a 7, like, I'm not confident, like, I'm really excited about this thing, I really want it, I'm ready to change, but I don't feel able yet, then being that infrastructure for them is what's going to convince them now is the time. And the second and final thing, this is a big one, you have maybe 1 month to convince them that this is going to be the time, this is the change, this is the one that's really going to get it done, unlike previous attempts to change. So as much as I like, focusing on habits, like progressive change over time, slow incremental progress, that's all great when they've been training for 6 months. In that first month, they need progress. They need to show that this is going to be what makes the change. So provide lots of support that they can make the level of change that they're capable of. And if you can show them in a month, this works, you'll have them in 6 months to make those deeper, sustainable, habit-based type changes. All right. That's all I had for today. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching. If you have any comments on this, I believe this is going up on the YouTube as a full recording, and then highlights afterwards, here to this channel. If you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me here on this Instagram channel, Barbell Logic Academy, or at CJ Gocher. And if you are just starting as an online coach, if you are looking to, or if you've been an online coach, but you feel kind of stuck or overwhelmed in time, we'll be releasing the Online Coaching Excellence course. You can already get it at our New Year discount for 20% off, and that will be releasing here very soon. If not the end of the month, then the first week of January, before that January 5th timeline, so that you can get started taking advantage of that, developing your systems to be more efficient, earn more per hour, so you can buy back your time and your freedom as a coach. So thanks so much. Have a happy new year.